Hello, my name is Craig, and I'm so thankful you're joining me for another episode of the Daily Disney Podcast. This is episode number 56. Before we get going, I do ask that you please give us a follow and a nice review on all of your favorite podcast outlets. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, all of those out there. And I ask that you please give us a follow and give us a thumbs up. Also, you can check us out on the dailycraig.net. That's where we host our podcast with a few other things, daily videos and things. And we're also on YouTube, Daily Disney Podcast, and of course Twitter, Daily Disney Pod. So thank you so much for joining me. This is episode 56. There are a lot of stories going around today about the shareholders planning to vote against Bob Chapek's re-election to the board of directors. So that got me thinking, if we were to wipe everybody out of the board of directors, everybody that ultimately makes all decisions, what is one thing that we would like to see at each of the parks, and one thing, kind of take that step back, of the whole Disney World that we would like to see? Now, these guys are much smarter than me. They obviously make way more money than me, and they've got the experience that I don't have in running a major company, successful theme park, things like that. So what I'm talking about today are more not tongue-in-cheek, but they're just kind of fantasy ideas. And they're ideas that I think would be great and cool. And maybe it's something, a change here and there. You'll get what I'm talking about. But first thing, let's take a step back. And I guess let's call this, what would I do if I was CEO? Maybe that's what I'm going to title this episode. What I would do if I was CEO. So the first thing for Disney World, I would expand the monorail. We're not just hitting Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and the Resort Loop. We're going everywhere. We're going out to Animal Kingdom. We're going out to Hollywood Studios. We're going out to Disney Springs. In a perfect world, we're going out to the airport and back. But I'm not going to get greedy. Let's keep this realistic here. I think that monorail is the number one best source of transportation. I know that the Skyliner is new and it's shiny and it's cool and everybody loves it and it goes quick and everything. But I think the monorail is the best. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I think it's creative. And I would love to see it expanded. Now, it's $1 trillion to do this. It's real expensive. It's a pain in the butt. I don't know how you're going to do it logistically, but that's why we have smart people. Let's make it happen. I really think that would be something fun. I really think that would be something cool. And I really think the expansion would bring a lot more people, basically more opportunities, right? I was shocked to learn the Animal Kingdom is the number 2 visited theme park at Disney World. I was shocked at that. But I don't think that's going to be for long because of the popularity of Hollywood Studios and everything like that. But if you can send people to a monorail and limit the buses, you are basically helping with the traffic. You're helping with all kinds of different things. I just think the monorail being expanded would really, truly bring the entire resort, the entire Walt Disney World together. I think it'd be cool. So that's what we're going to do as a whole. Over at Epcot, we're going to add maybe 2 more countries to World Showcase. What countries? I don't know. Brazil. I think that would be a cool one. And there's all kinds of different ones out there. There are all kinds of different options and stuff like that. I think, it's one of those things where I love the Canada Pavilion. I love the Italy Pavilion. I love Germany. I love all of them. They're all fun, right? They're all cool. They're all interesting. They're all fun. I would add Brazil because they can add that South American twist and have some really good food and interesting things. But I would also add Australia. I think it would be cool. I think it'd be neat. The marketing is already there with the cool flag and the kangaroos and all the fun that you get from Australia. But I think if you add a couple more countries, World Showcase is already cool. It's already popular. It's during a festival back there. It is insanely busy. And maybe these don't bring the excitement where you have an ultimate ride that's there, but they bring in cool new restaurants, new heritage that people can learn about, new history of countries, new Imagineers from those countries. And it really continues to kind of build that globally. So I would add Brazil and I'd add Australia. Let's go over to Hollywood Studios. I'm going to bring back the Great Movie Ride. But It's just going to be Disney rides. Disney and Pixar. It's going to be kind of back past where the Chinese theater is right now. Back, kind of just in the back right corner back there. Let's just keep going. And we don't need the building look anything crazy. It'd be cool if it looked like maybe the old front of the first Walt Disney Imagineering building over in Burbank or Anaheim. But it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. But I want to have a ride that you go through and see the Disney rides. Start with Steamboat Willie and continue all the way through, Toy Story and Cars and up. Don't stop with just the Disney stuff. Let's include the Pixar stuff. I think that'd be really cool. I think it'd be really neat. I think it would be a great addition. I think people still miss the Great Movie Ride. It was getting stale. The agreement had ended. I totally understand why we made the change. And now Mickey has a ride, which is awesome. But I think doing something like that would be really, really neat. And it would add more. It would just add another thing where you can now look at the history of the Disney movies. I mean, you're bringing in, imagine all the classics. I mean, you're Snow White. You're all the way up to the Rebirth with Lion King and Mermaid and all that stuff. There's so many opportunities there. That ride would be huge. It would be super popular, and I think it would be awesome. Okay, let's go over to Animal Kingdom. Now, we've already got the safari. We've already got all of our animals. This is a challenging one. What does Animal Kingdom need that it doesn't have right now? Go with me here, okay? It needs a couple more of those thrill rides. Exhibition Everest is thrill. We've got Flight of Passage, which is thrill. I'm talking 2 ginormous, huge coasters. And here is the kind of the mindset of that. I love what Busch Garden does. I love what Universal does. They've got Cheetah Hunt. They've got the Manta Ray. All those different things. We need 2 roller coasters based off animals. Maybe a Jaguar run or a Panther run. I don't know what the names would be, but we need 2 roller coasters. One is going to go crazy fast like Cheetah Run, and it's going to go in through all these different things. Of course, we're staying away from the animals here. We're not engaging the animals at all. This is its own standalone, far away from the actual, I guess, from the park itself. Maybe an additional little area, additional little land. But we need a couple coasters that up the thrill level of Animal Kingdom. And I love the theming of Exhibition Everest. It's awesome. That whole idea of going to catch the Yeti is an amazing one. The safari speaks for itself. It's not a thrill ride, but it is amazing too. So what can we keep adding here? I think one where you're on the back of a Jaguar or something like that, where you're kind of like Cheetah Hunt, just kind of copy that. And then the other one I would say is kind of a more kind of take to the sky type thing, where it's almost like Soarin', but it's really, really, really inclusive with a lot of the different architecture, the different things that you're going to see over in Africa, Asia, things like that. So it's a roller coaster version of Soarin'. And I know this is probably the weakest of my ideas. It is. I'm just going to be honest. But I think if you can add some more stuff to the Animal Kingdom that's not completely associated with the animals, it just opens up more because Pandora is so popular and it just doesn't include the animals. I feel where we need to keep including the animals, but I don't want it to be something where we're relying on that all the time because weather's weird and we need to make sure that those animals are being safe, make sure we're keeping them safe, different things like that. So I think if you add a couple coasters far away from the animals, I think it'll be really, really interesting. Okay, here we are. Magic Kingdom. So there's a couple things that I want to do. A couple of them are bring them back and a couple are whatever. First time, we need a nighttime parade. We need a nighttime parade. There were a few of them back in the day and they were amazing. We have to bring a nighttime parade back to Magic Kingdom. It has to happen right now. It's amazing standing on Main Street with the lights dimmed after the fireworks and or before the fireworks, I forget. But to see all those different floats, the different characters all lit up, all kinds of different things like that. It is something that is truly amazing. It really is. Now, that takes me to the next thing. If you go back to Fantasyland and you continue on there and you go past Mermaid and all the way back there, I want an area of this park that brings back the old attractions. I want Mr. Toad, Snow White's Scary Adventure, or Adventure, whatever we're going to call it, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I want Disney to have an area in Magic Kingdom that brings the rides back that they used to have. And I want them to do this with their updated technology, their updated budget, their updated smarts, what they know now about different rides. Can you imagine Mr. Toad on a trackless ride? Can you imagine how much you would be going back and forth in that car? You know, your neck would be broken basically at the end of it. But I want a nighttime parade. I want an area in the back. I don't know what you call it, Retro Land or Extinct Land or Bring Them Back Land. I don't know what you call it. But bring back the 2 or 3 rides that I just mentioned. And then also, this is all dictating on construction and stuff like that. Bring back the train. I don't care what you got to do. Bring back the train. Walt loved trains. Part of going to Disney World is getting on that train on Main Street, looking around, and riding that thing all around the park. That's a big part of the visit. And we haven't been able to do that in 10 years? So bring back the train. Fix it. Another thing that we're doing is over in the Haunted Mansion, behind the Haunted Mansion, directly behind the Haunted Mansion. We're building a duplicate replica, and it's going to be a hotel. I don't care what you call it, the Haunted Mansion Hotel. It's going to be a scary, creepy, spooky time, but it's going to be a lot of fun. If we can have a Star Wars hotel, we can have a Haunted Mansion hotel. So, what would I do if I was CEO? Monorails are expanded everywhere. You can get anywhere on property with a monorail. We're bringing Australia and Brazil to World Showcase. We're adding a great movie ride, Disney Edition, over to Hollywood Studios. We are adding a couple thrill coasters, basically just copying off Busch Gardens or Universal. But we need thrill rides based on our favorite animals. And then we're also going to go to the Magic Kingdom. We're going to have a nighttime parade. We're going to have an area where we're having retro rides that have closed at Magic Kingdom. We're going to make the stinking train work. And then we're going to have a Haunted Mansion hotel. So that's what we're going to do. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here with me and letting me share some of my crazy ideas. The monorail is my favorite one. I love it. I think the monorail needs to go everywhere. Realistically, it'll never happen because of money. None of these will ever happen. They really won't. The Great Movie Ride Disney Edition would be fantastic. I think it'd be cool. And once a ride's gone, it's gone. I understand that. But could you imagine with the updated techniques and skills that they have, what Snow White and some of these rides would look like? I think it'd be cool. So anyway, thanks you so much for tuning in. Make sure you do like and subscribe. Check us out. We're so thankful that you're here every day to tune in and spend some time with us. And yeah, that's it for us. Make sure you please check us out, dailycraig.net. That's the website. And we'll talk to you later. Take care.